Sandro Diamante with the ball on a string and Diamante!
Welcome back to All Out West for this special episode of Off the Pitch. It's our first episode for the season, and we are joined by A-League icon, 336 A-League game veteran, and utter legend, Nikolai Topor-Stanley. Welcome, mate. How are you going?
I'm okay. I'm unshaven and my hair's a bit, all over the shop, but I was supposed to do a gym session. I'm in my gym clothes, but I had to get a COVID test, which I waited 2 hours for. But that's all part of my, my exemption to get down in Victoria. But
oh, nice. So you're in Victoria now, are you?
no, I'm not.
Okay.
Victorian government is making it a little bit tough for people in New South Wales, so I've just been waiting to try and get an exemption.
Oh, nice.
Myself and my family.
Wicked. So you all coming down here for the season, or?
Yeah, that's the plan. I've got 2 small kids, so couldn't live without them.
I completely understand.
I had to mention the wife too. She just walked in the room.
Got to get brownie points there, mate.
Yeah.
So we're going to start off with a hard one, and this wasn't on the sheet we gave you. So straight off the bat, Palmy or Palmer? This is a crazy one, I know.
Palmy. As in chicken parmigiana?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I'd have to say chicken palmy.
Oh, God. That hurts to hear, but we'll move on. So for the fans who may not know you as well, because Western United's a very young club, what is your football story?
Right. Well, hope you got a bit of time. So, I grew up in Canberra. So, don't hold that against me, by the way. So,
no hate here.
And yeah, my father's a football tragic, and he got my brother and I into it. And my older brother's 4 years older than me, so he bullied me into being in goals all the time and chasing the balls down for him. But I guess that gave me a little bit of character and always someone to, look up to and, try and beat. And, we had immense one-on-one battles in the backyard. But, junior football through there, I got an opportunity to, at 16 years old, to go to the ACT Academy of Sport. And from there, I did well, got inducted into AIS at the time, which was, I know it's, no longer, but in my time, that was the breeding ground for young talent. And I learned so much in my 1.5 years there on how to be, professional. And, I was tested every day, and that was kind of really where I knew I wanted to be a professional footballer when I was surrounded by, the most talented 16, 17, 18-year-olds in the country at the time. And, that was the basis for our under-20s Young Socceroos and Olyroos campaigns. And, from there, I missed out actually on the first year of the A-League. So I sent a letter to all clubs at the time in the first year and politely got declined.
Wow.
Aside from, so I trialled with Melbourne Victory, and he said thanks but no thanks at the time. I trialled with Brisbane, same story, and the rest of them kind of just didn't even get back to me. So that was, a bitter pill to swallow, as all my friends kind of were getting contracts. But I stuck with it and stayed ready, so to speak. And I did a year in the NPL in Sydney with Manly. And I unfortunately for Jacob Timpano, who was a colleague of mine for a long time, he had pretty bad injuries with his ankle. He had repeated surgeries, but that gave me an opportunity to sign an injury replacement at Sydney FC in the second year of the A-League. And luckily for me, I scored on debut, and they offered me a contract on the spot after I scored. So goals equals contracts, apparently.
Wow, that's a good thing to know. I have to put that on my resume now, I guess. I don't know.
So that was the start of the A-League, and then since then I've travelled to Perth for a couple of years, to the Jets for 3 years, down the Western Sydney Wanderers for 4.5 years. Went overseas to the UAE for a season, and then the last 4 years have been back at Newcastle. And now another chapter and I guess life experience down in Melbourne.
Wicked.
What attracted you to signing to Western United?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of obvious, there's the opportunity to play football, right? It's that was, I guess, asked of me, and the opportunity to play at the highest level in Australia is a privilege for me to keep on playing the game. But to work under someone like John Aloisi, who's a legend of Australian football. Obviously, Diamanti is a huge international known footballer, so the opportunity to play with him. And I guess this kind of feels similar to when I joined the Wanderers. It's a startup club. It's fresh. It's a chance to represent a new people, and that all those factors is attracted to me.
No, I completely understand, because you've had a vast career which has done so many things. Now, here's a bit of a flip on that. What would you like to see from us as fans over the next season?
That's always, obviously passion, but that goes without saying. If you're paying your hard-earned money to come and support a team, then you have to be some sort of you have to have some sort of passion. So, but continue support through thick and thin, because nothing's going to be smooth sailing, right? As long as, I guess, our job as footballers is to show the fans that we care just as much, if not more, than the fans about the direction and the success of the club. And hopefully that can, that passion and that, I guess, that combined energy can turn into results and a winning club.
Nice. Who are you most excited to work with?
I would be lying to say it wouldn't be Diamanti. I played against him, obviously, and he's more than a handful. He's, he kind of just floats around the pitch and, pops up with these things that you don't understand how he's seen that, because you still haven't seen it after the ball's gone 50 metres past you or whatever. So I guess the opportunity to work with someone who's played at the highest level for, the Italian national team and being, is huge for me. So, that's got to be one of them.
Yeah, it's definitely would be a fun time playing with him. And he's also a big character. Do you think you'd be down Lygon Street getting some coffees with him, or?
I guess if he allows me in his inner circle, but I'm sure I could gain his trust first.
So being an athlete, like any performer, can be very introspective. What areas of your game are you most working on for this next season?
I think I approach this, well, the answer to the question, I approach every season to be as physically fit as possible, because I think there are 3 dimensions to, I guess, a football. Anyway, this is according to me, so everyone's different. But for me, you have to start the season physically fit, which in turn gives you confidence, the mental, I guess, clarity to just get on with your job. Because if you miss pre-season or if you don't feel fit, then you start doubting yourself, and it's not really a recipe for going into games confident and able to do your job at 100%. And then obviously the tactical part all comes together from the coaches, how the team dynamic works out on the field. So I don't think there's really one thing that I'm looking to bring in terms of like, I'm looking to score 30-yard bombs or provide X amount of assists, but I always go into it just looking after my body, trying to be in the best shape possible, and the rest should flow from there. All those pieces of the puzzle over time of the season kind of follow that if you get the first part right.
Can I just say, we'll accept 30-yard bombs.
Yeah, I want to say at least 5.
At least 5? All right. Well, I'll do my best. If the ball pops up again, then I'm just gonna have to hit it.
I'll accept it. Yeah.
Even if it misses, we'll be happy with it.
All right.
Have you got a number yet in the back of your kit?
Well, as in my playing number.
Yeah.
Yeah, I chose 44. I'm not sure if that's been given to me yet. That's still waiting. No special reason other than that I like the number 4 and 4's already taken. So why not make it 2 4s?
I thought that might be like a Mighty Ducks reference or something. Because it was like,
No, it's not that cool. Just yeah. I've always. I mean, ever since I was a youngster, I played number 4. So that's just the number I like.
Are you expected at training at any time in the future? Do you know when you're supposed to start training? I know you're still in New South Wales, but
yeah, I mean, we've just been trying to, myself and the guys and girls at the club have just been trying to get exemption from the Victorian government to even step foot in Victoria. It doesn't make it, I guess, easy that Newcastle is just going into a lockdown, a 7-day lockdown as of today.
wow, yeah.
So it's fairly complicated, a lot of paperwork, and yeah, it's not really traveling as fast as I would like it, but it's kind of out of my hands at the moment. But you know, I've packed up my house. I'm ready to go. Just waiting for the green light, I guess, to get on a plane.
well, you'll be lucky because I think we might be going into lockdown as well. So
I heard today. So it's interesting times that we live in. Certainly, it's certainly testing the patience, but it could be worse.
Definitely.
who is your greatest influence?
Well, on a personal level, it would have to be my parents. You know, they're both immigrants to Australia, and I guess they taught me the value of hard work and the value of family and the value of you know, not making excuses and, you know, getting out there and giving your best. So, you know, both my parents came from, I mean, not extreme poverty, but relative poverty, and they carved out a life for themselves in Australia, and they obviously got the opportunity to live in our beautiful country. But yeah, it wasn't easy for them. You know, coming to a country with not a lot of English and no friends, no family, and they made it work. So I guess the older I get, and now that I've got my own family, you know, I really appreciate the life lessons that they gave me from a young age. And even though at the time I thought it was annoying, I guess now I can see the fruits of all those life lessons that they taught me.
We've all seen that banger of a goal you scored for the Jets. We've already talked about 30-yard bangers. Is there a chance we could, like, sorry if we're harping on this kind of narrative here, but we would like to see some coolness. Any chance you might have another crack?
There's definitely a chance. I just have to, the ball just has to sit right and it has to be the right opportunity. But as I said in my interview after I actually scored that goal, you should see my goals in training. They're even better. So hopefully I can get it right at the training track first, and then, you know, shoot from distance.
Tee up DR just to make sure it's like, hey, just a couple this way, buddy.
Yeah.
What was it like scoring that header at the 2008 Olympics against Saudi Arabia at Highmarsh Stadium?
Yeah, it was. It was a huge moment. You know, representing your country is like nothing else. You know, it's yes, as I mentioned before, you know, when my parents came here as immigrants, and to be accepted into the country, and then seeing their son, I guess, represent the country that accepted them, was huge for myself and my family to even put on the green and gold. And I guess that got us one step closer to an Olympic Games, and which we eventually went, and that's another story. But you know, that was all part of my journey as being an Olympian, which now being watching the Olympics, you know, kind of gives me good memories. And yeah, it was an absolute honour.
What was it like, the Olympics? Like, was it a good experience?
Yeah, I mean, it's the Olympics, right? I mean, we didn't do as well as we thought we could have. Yeah, it was a bit of a bitter pill to swallow because, we were in good form leading up to it. We played a lot of international and high international quality games, and it just kind of fizzled out really at the games. I mean, mind you, we were playing a Serbian team that had won the under-21 Euro national, so it was, we drew 1-1 with them. An Argentina team, if you look at the lineup that they had against us, was beyond world class, and an Ivory Coast team who had players playing in Europe everywhere. So we didn't disgrace ourselves, but I guess at the time we had huge belief that we were going to get through the group stage, and but we didn't. But as I said, now that it's far removed, I can still look on that with pride. And I was actually going through my stuff when I was packing up my house, that I still have some Olympic tracksuits and things like that my daughter likes to wear, even though she's 3. Doesn't is I'm pretty sure she'll never fit into them. But she was going through that, and it kind of gave me good memories.
It's nice.
What has been your best highlights of your career so far?
Well, I guess winning the Asian Champions League was a massive moment for me. I guess knowing the sacrifice and in terms of travel and demands that we had in preparing to win that was huge. We were constantly away from home. It was tough, but obviously all worthwhile in winning, a Champions League. But I think that the thing that gives me the most, I guess, pleasure now is, when my kids watch me play, and they point me out on TV, or they see themselves on TV and they get a huge, rush and a smile on their face. And my son's left-footed too, so if he chooses to, but he's halfway there to being a left-footed, footballer. But yeah, me and my kids are my life now, and I guess right now that's the most the pleasing part for me, is that they can still watch me play. Hopefully they'll remember it, and it's great to share it with them.
That's amazing, and it's just nice to share with your family, and hopefully the TV rights deal's there, so in future you can. I did actually watch your highlight reel prior to this. That's some good goals there, man. Right. Now, what was the transition like going from Western New Wanderers to is it Hatter? I'm unsure.
Hatter.
Hatter Club into. Sorry, I was. When you're like, I don't know how to say that. Hatter Club in 2008.
Yeah, it was an eye opener. It was an opportunity for me to, I guess, experience international football in Dubai, which is not the worst place to live. It was culturally, football-wise, completely different, chalk and cheese. It's a very individual game. Basically when I landed, I got told that I was one of 4 foreigners and just to pass to them, because we'll win the game or lose the game. So I was like, wow, like not what I'm kind of used to, because Australia is quite big on teamwork and everyone makes a difference. And that was basically what I got told. And I kind of found it to be true, that, true in a sense of, if we lost games, it was all on us, and we were kind of the scapegoats. And I guess on the flip side, if you win, you get showered with, praise, and people with ridiculous amounts of money, come in and, kind of kiss your feet. So, which I guess doesn't really happen in Australia. So it's, but it was interesting. I had a good time. I made some good friends there, and the Emiratis are actually lovely people. I wasn't expecting, I guess, the hospitality and that from, a group that was completely different to us. But I had a good time. I had a good, I think it was one season there.
Yeah. Was there any play style differences, or was it just the pass to the foreigners? Was that the foreign side?
I was a centre back. I needed to pass to the 6 or hit the striker or the number 10. That was it. And
Wow.
if I didn't do that, I got yelled at.
Wow.
So, yeah, I played with 2 Brazilians up front and a Romanian number 6 who was just a destroyer. You know, you would just go in there and kick people, and my job was to keep the foreign strikers quiet. And, yeah, when they're running everywhere and there's 3 of them, it's kind of hard to do it on your own. So, yeah, I mean, but I guess it's just I wasn't there to, I guess, try and put my Aussie spin on, you know, on their way of football. You know, I went there with an open mind, and, you know, I got through a season with a relatively small club, and the aim was to avoid relegation. So I came in there and they were second last, and we ended up coming 7th out of 12th, which is good for them, good for me. And yeah, relegation is also, yeah, it's a different beast. Certainly, you know, makes things interesting when you're playing teams around your position, and yeah, people come out of the woodwork and really put the pressure on, and it's extremely different. And I can only imagine what would it be like in, you know, the championship, going up or down that level where, you know, it's literally your livelihood, and the club's livelihood, and, you know, whether they can afford to pay staff or so. It was a big eye opener.
Question without because we didn't submit it. Are you pro rel in Australia? Pro relegation and whatnot here.
I think as a concept, yeah, but I just don't think we're at a stage that we can do it, because
I agree. The TV monies and you know what I mean. Like, it'd be very difficult. Sorry, we don't
have the infrastructure, I think, because most of the clubs think, oh, well, once I get a slice of that TV money, I'll be able to financially support my club. But it doesn't really work that way, and we can see even at this level that, you know, it's not an easy game to make a profit in. No. So I think we need time to build the product, to build purpose-built stadiums. You know, it's good that we've got a kind of longer TV deal now to build towards, but I think it needs to happen in, smaller steps rather than just jumping in and going all in.
Yeah, completely agree.
What is your pre-game ritual?
I don't really have too many rituals aside from that. I'll take a nap during the day, which my wife finds bizarre because I don't nap any other time. But yeah, that's, if you want to call it a ritual, it is, because I will not forsake my nap. Screaming kids or no screaming kids. I'll close the door, put the earplugs in, pillow over the face.
Wow.
Other than that, I'm not too superstitious. You know, I don't do any lucky undies or socks, you know, or boots laced up one way or the other. So
nice. How long of a siesta is it?
Now, that all depends on when we're playing. So if we play at 3 o'clock, you know, I don't want to take too long, so I'll probably take 45. But if we're playing at 7:30, I could easily do 2 hours.
On that note, Scott just woke up from his nap because he's a night shift worker. So.
Right.
Sorry, a bit of a tangent there. What is currently is your go-to song on Spotify or a playlist?
Well, it would have to be "Let's Get Ill" by DJ Snake, because that is my daughter's favorite song, and she just requests it on repeat. And it's a bit of a banger. So, you know, she likes "Sandstorm" by Darude as well.
Classic.
Yeah, she loves that one. Go figure. She's probably going to go to school and one day and everyone's going to be like, "What are you talking about, Darude Sandstorm?" So,
oh, that's wicked. It's so not too much of the Wiggles then?
Well, that is a favourite, and currently Thomas the Tank Engine, because a friend of ours bought them a train set for my son's birthday, And I hadn't really gotten to Thomas before, but now that we've got the train set and names to faces, well, obviously they want more of it. So
understand it well. Now, this is Crossbar Capers said this to us. We hear you're a keen fisherman. Any good stories?
I
don't know context here. Sorry to cut you off. I don't know context.
Well, I'm not sure if this would be funny to you as it is to me, but I guess you have to know the character of Jason Hoffman to find it funny, because everyone who knows him, and I guess I've got the photo to back it up, which makes it even funnier. I don't know. Maybe I can send it to you somehow, which would be funny. Anyway, he was begging me to take me for a fish, me to take him for a fish for ages, and he's like, come on, you got to take me out. You got to take me out. And I'm like, mate, I understand. I'm leaving at 4 a.m. and I'm not getting back till after midday. And if you get seasick, it's not my issue. We're out to sea. He's like, no, I'll be fine. I went on Sail Croatia and, I was great on Sail Croatia. Everyone else was getting sick and I wasn't. And I'm like, yeah, it's a little bit different from Mediterranean, but okay. I said, look, just to be sure, it's going to be good weather, but, bring some seasickness tablets just in case. So obviously he didn't, being, a tough man he thinks he is. And, but then he started getting worried because I said, oh, look, did you bring him? He's like, no. And he's a bit neurotic. So that's why it makes it funny. He actually convinces himself of things. So he started convincing himself that he was going to be sick even before we got on the boat. And we stopped off at the servo and he bought 2 packets of Fisherman's Friends and he's just inhaling it, thinking that somehow it's going to make him, calm down. So anyway, he's thinking of really strong mints. And we got out the heads and it's a little bit washy, but nothing too major. So I handed him the rod and I go, all right, cast that over there. And he can cast a fishing rod. And he had 1 cast and then sat straight down. And I said, mate, are you feeling all right? And he's like, yeah, I'm okay. I just need to have a rest. And I'm like, a rest? You've had 1 cast. We just got here. And I could tell straight away that he was he's already a pale guy and he was going from pale to paler. And I'm like, oh, it's already hit him. Anyway, he was beyond death sick. And we had a good time taking photos and videos of him. But to his credit, he never, ever told me to take him in. And he endured probably a good 4 or 5 hours of going from white to green to, I don't even know what the color is called because he's just drained of all bodily fluids. But yeah, we got in and I'll have to show you the photo one day. It's actually brilliant.
Dude, yeah. I'd love to see it. That sounds hilarious. Was he translucent? Was he almost see-through?
Literally like that. And he looked like a corpse. It was
Wow. Wow.
That's my best fishing story.
That's gold.
Actually doesn't involve catching fish.
Since signing an A-League contract with Sydney, what has it been like seeing the growth of Australian football?
Yeah, it's actually come a long way since, I was a youngster in terms of professionalism, in terms of investment, in terms of staff even. I remember starting off and we didn't have full-time physios, we didn't have full-time medical staff, or some of the games we travelled on the day of the game, and that was, I guess, considered normal for when I was young. And now you would never even dare to think about that being possible. So in that aspect, it's great that in the background, especially the PFA, our players union, has made sure that that's a non-negotiable for conditions, and you're only going to, and for the women too now. So that's also good that they're getting a professional landscape to work in and flourish as players. And yeah, I mean, I think the level overall of an average player has certainly risen, because I think you had some top players in some teams and a very big gap in between your bottom and top players at the beginning. And I think that gap has slowly gotten closer. And yeah, I think the average level of player, and it's gotten quicker. It's gotten. I'm not sure if there's more goals in terms of stats or not, but as a player, I know I can feel it's gotten quicker, and the level of training even has gotten consistently better every year. And that's from a player's point of view. I'm not sure. I know a lot of spectators don't feel that way, but that's my take.
Yeah, but that's back of house stuff that people wouldn't be privy to, how the administration's being done, how you guys, again, the physio thing, I didn't know that they weren't full-time for a long time. That's
no,
especially the quality of care to yourselves, because very easily
this is
get
a
injured.
livelihood, right? And I guess the longer that we're out of action, I guess it costs them as a business. So I think, they realised, and I guess our union also realised that it just can't happen. If you want a decent product out there, you need to have fit and able-bodied squads, not just a handful of players.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Thank you for your time today. Do you have anything you'd like to pass on to fans?
I've already received numerous messages, so thank you for your warm welcome already, even though I'm not allowed in Victoria yet. But I promise it's not my doing. I'm doing my best to get down there, and I'm really looking forward to getting out there on the training field with the boys, and also meeting all the fans. And it's a new beginning for me, which I'm really excited to be part of.
Wicked. So thank you again.